Hey everyone, it's Professor Clark, and in this lecture, you're going to learn, as promised, the accusative case. Let's start with a quick discussion of what is the accusative case, or when do we use the accusative case. The main use of the accusative case is to indicate the direct object, and a direct object is the direct recipient of the action of a verb. So, for example, in the sentence, I bought a book, or Я купила книгу in Russian, book is the direct object. Now, in Russian, the accusative case is complicated by this thing called animacy. Animacy indicates whether or not things have souls. And it comes into effect in the direct object for masculine nouns in the singular and all nouns in the plural. So for the moment, we will not consider animate masculine nouns in the singular or any kind of animate noun in the plural. We will only consider inanimate nouns for our current use of the accusative case. Let's now look at noun endings in the accusative. When we are dealing with inanimate objects, the rule for the accusative is that any a in the ending will go to u, and any ya in the ending will go to you. Everything else stays the same. And this rule applies across all nouns, adjectives, and special modifiers. So, for example, if we look at this chart, you can see that masculine nouns, inanimate masculine nouns, stay the same regardless of whether they are hard or soft. So, magazine, учебник, словарь, and музей all remain exactly the same in the accusative as they are in the nominative. It's the same for neuter. So, окно, письмо, море, and занятия all remain exactly the same in the accusative as they are in the nominative. When we get to feminine, however, we see this a going to u and ya going to you rule come into play. So szkoła becomes szkolu. Kniga becomes knigu. Семья becomes семью. Italia becomes Italiu. But notice that площадь remains площадь. Mягкий знак never changes. And this rule also comes into play when we have masculine nouns that end in a or ya. So, for example, papa becomes papu, дедушка, grandfather, becomes дедушку, Vitya becomes Vityu. We won't go into that too much, or we won't worry about that too much right now because we are not dealing with animate nouns, and most of those masculine nouns ending in a or ya are animate. But just be aware that they follow the same rule of a going to u and ya going to you. Getting back to our chart here, and the plural, it's going to be the same, again, for inanimate nouns, things, not sentient beings. It's going to be the same for inanimate nouns in the accusative as it is in the nominative. So, magazine becomes magaziny, школа, школы, окно, окна, словарь, словари, площадь, площади, занятия, занятия. When it comes to modifiers, the exact same rule applies. A goes to u and ya goes to you, while all other endings stay the same. We can see this, for example, in adjectives. The aya ending is going to become uyu, so novaya becomes novuyu, ruskaya, ruskую, хорошая, хорошую, and then the yaya ending will become yuyu, sinyaya, sinyuyu. This is also true in possessives and in indicative pronouns, so any kind of special modifier, моя, мою, это, эту. So we can say, for example, Я читаю мою новую русскую книгу. Modifiers that are modifying masculine, neuter, and plural nouns will remain the same as the nominative as long as they are modifying inanimate nouns. So we can say, for example, Я читаю мой новый русский учебник. I am reading my new Russian textbook. And as a reminder, masculine nouns ending in a or ya take u or you in the accusative, but their modifiers do not. Their modifiers do something else that we don't know how to do yet, so we will just know that we cannot modify masculine nouns ending in a or ya, and leave it at that for now with the accusative.